What's
What's
going
going
on?
on, everybody? Dang, not bad. Look at that timing. Hey.
I was timing it out after you went silent. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and go.
There you go. You know, he knows how I start. He knows how we start. But hey, guys, how's it going? It's Whataweeb, and today we're gonna do something a little different. I know we haven't covered My Hero Academia this entire season because we kind of started doing live reacts when it was in the middle of airing, I guess, right, Nestor?
Correct. We didn't even start the channel until it was in its second arc. So
yeah. So we were like, okay, we don't want to come in halfway and then have to compete with everybody else. But we still love this anime. We read it every week. We had Shonen Jump wrap ups on it, so we love it.
We did, and it just had an amazing last chapter. So
yeah. Oh my god. But that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how did this anime do? In comparison to the manga. Did it do it right? Did it do it wrong? And we're going to start from the beginning with the entrance exam. So take us away, Nestor.
So, I think a lot of us are familiar with the main character, Izuku Midoriya. He's a quirkless kid in a world where I think 80% of the people have quirks, but he was unfortunately the 1 in 5 people that didn't, and he had always dreamed of becoming a hero just like his hero All Might. And the first arc, I say arc, but it's really just a couple episodes of introduction where he talks about how unfortunate it was for him to live this life, but how he was willing to go out on a limb to go save not even his friend. I don't even know what to consider Bakugo at the very beginning. He considers
him a friend, I think. Bakugo does not consider him a friend, though.
So he... Like, this first arc was him finally getting the power that he had always dreamed of. And not only getting a power, but getting a power from his #1 childhood hero, All Might, who he had idolized since he was young, 4 years old or whatever. He's like the age that kids usually develop their quirks. And that episode where All Might accepted him as a hero was probably one of the most heart-aching moments, and I've almost felt like I was about to cry.
Yeah, no, it was tough. Whenever I hear you say "run" these days, I just hold my chest. I'm just like, dang, this, and then like when he saves Bakugo too, you just really feel bad for Deku in the beginning. The anime does a good job of getting that across to you that look, he's not your typical shonen character who comes in, is already pretty dang strong, and then just gets even more broken every time he gets a power up. Deku gets a power up, but it's an ability that he can't use fully. He has to train really hard. Even today in the manga, he cannot use it fully properly.
Spoilers.
Whatever. I doubt people would expect that him to have full mastery of it as of now. And it does something a little different than other shonens. And if I had to compare it to the manga, it took everything from the manga and did it right. If anything, it shortened some parts that weren't as important and made sure to focus on those moments that were key to Deku's future character development.
Next, we had for the next arc, it was a quirk apprehension arc / entrance exam. No, it's quirk apprehension. That's what it was. No, yeah. Entrance. The words. Go for it,
yes.
Dirko.
Okay, the words. So, after Deku gets his power, All Might kicks him into pretty much UA, and he beats his way into the school. And they meet their first teacher, Eraserhead. One of my favorite pro heroes, to be honest. I love Eraserhead. He's so cool. The ability to erase quirks. I love that type of ability, just getting rid of other people's abilities. It's cool. So this is a kind of bullshit arc, to be honest with you. Even in the manga and the anime, same thing. So give it a either way, because all they have is just a quick little like episode of 2 where they have everybody training. It's cool that we get to see everybody's quirks, and the animations in the anime were good. They took it straight from the manga. Literally didn't. They made sure to stay true to their source material, which I respect a lot. A lot of anime don't do that. Like the first Blue Exorcist.
Yikes.
Yeah, but that's a different story for a different day. And yeah, we really just get to see everybody's quirks and see them train. So it's not really much. Then we get into an arc I think Nestor likes a little bit, the Battle Trial arc. So
Oh yes, the Battle Trial arc, otherwise known as Only One Fight. But, at the very beginning of this entire show, we were only really focusing on a small core of characters, which is really good because you don't want to be introduced to 20 million characters and only focus on 4 and try to keep up with all the rest of them. So I like that. So how the battle trial arc worked is that everyone was paired up, and then they had to go with a villain side and a hero side, and the villain side would have to protect a bomb, and the heroes were trying to defuse the bomb or the rocket. I don't remember what exactly it was. I remember there being a rocket.
Yes,
but
there was.
So how it went was Ida, the supersonic super fast runner, and Bakugo had to take on Deku and Uraraka in a fight. Well, I say fight, but Bakugo realistically was going rogue AF, and he was doing his own thing, trying to just go purely for Deku. He didn't care about Uraraka. He was trying to just kill Bakugo.
He was pissed at Deku, dude. He was
just trying to murder him. And we saw that the entire time, and we got to see how under-leveled Deku really was comparatively to Bakugo, but we also started figuring out how high of an analytical level that Deku has, because he hadn't done a fight comparatively.
His quirk is new. Like, he just got a couple months ago.
So he hadn't actually done an actual fight, but he was able to, after a while, finally be able to take on Bakugo basically on even grounds. And Uraraka and Ida, they had a nice little fight because Ida could figure out what Uraraka could do because he knew her and thought that her quirk wasn't all that. And then he was able to, unfortunately, spoilers, lose. But anyways.
Yeah, and so, once again, how did this do with, how do you compare this to the manga? So in the manga, very similar scenario. It was done pretty much frame by frame, I think, for this arc. At least that fight. Bakugo, just seeing, like... And the thing about My Hero is that you got a lot of shonens out there, right? So many shonens. And they'll just have fights for the sake of having a fight. You won't get that much character development out of the fight, or like it'll happen at the end or something. Now this whole fight was full with character development because we knew Bakugo's thought process. He was mad at Deku because he thought Deku was a loser, and now he's coming up and competing with him as an equal. So he felt smaller. Bakugo is that kind of guy. He doesn't know what to do when he is in a bad situation. He doesn't feel right, so he kind of lashes out. And Deku, he knew he was powerless before. He understood that, but like Nestor said, his analytical ability allowed him to compete with him because he knew exactly what he was going to do. So, it's good to see a fight that's not just let me beat you harder than you can beat me. That's always cool. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing that, but them talking throughout that fight and just the raw emotions you had, it really sets itself apart as an anime and manga in general. But if I had to compare it to the manga for this arc, I'd say it was pretty spot on, right, Nestor?
Yeah. Very basically frame by frame, like you said. And then the next arc, the final arc of the first season, actually, was the Unforeseen Simulation. Derko?
Ooh. This is where we get introduced to the true antagonists of the series. So, a couple arcs in, they let everybody build up. Now we get introduced to the League of Villains. And these guys sneak in when there aren't that many heroes around, and they start mollywopping everybody. I think like the hero that was there was like number 13, the black hole guy, and he was having trouble fighting the shadow guy. And there were just too many villains for the heroes to deal with by themselves. They needed backup. So we got to see the students. They tried to fight back, but they couldn't do anything. They were getting destroyed for the most part. They
were beating the background villains.
Yeah, but like as soon as the main guy came in to step in, they got they couldn't do anything. Like when Nomu showed up, they couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, Nomu, they couldn't do anything.
So like, and they kind of understand that villains are a real threat. It's like kind of a learning experience for them where they kind of get humiliated in a sense because they need to rely on help. Some of them got stuck in the water. If Suyu wasn't a frog, they'd be owned. They'd be gone.
Or Deku.
Yeah, and but for the most part, they do put up a good fight, like you said, but it really shows the difference in power. It reminds you that they just started. and they just started, and it's good. It's good, like foreshadowing and build up, I guess, because later on we'll see them get stronger, see them get better and faster, and then these other fights they have in the future, they'll be a better character. I personally like the manga for this a little bit more, except for the All Might fight. The All Might fight in the anime was done so well, so perfectly. Oh my god, that
animation does make a difference if it's done properly.
Yeah, I get it. I think they saved the animation from the from the previous random fights for the All Might fight, so I get that. But so yeah, everything else goes to the manga, but that scene, that episode or two, where it goes straight to the anime, they did that perfectly. Oof. Oh man, but
and then the fact that he said he was feeling rusty.
Yeah,
it's like it took me 100 punches to get rid of him. My prime would have been 1.
Yeah. So like you kind of get to see All Might as this ultimate guy. Well, he used to be ultimate guy, but that's pretty much the end of season 1. So overall, we definitely thought season 1 they kept really true to the source material. Comparing the anime and the manga, not too many bads, mainly goods around. Except the only bad I'd say was what I said about the League of Villains fights in the beginning. It was kind of lower budget, but it wasn't like bad budget. It was just lower. You could tell the difference, but it wasn't like garbage quality. It wasn't as good as the God tier quality. And yeah, so anyway, moving on to the sports festival. Nestor, go.
Tournament arc!
Just go, Nestor, just go.
So, this was probably one of the most properly done tournament arcs I have seen in probably ever. Probably one of the best tournament arcs. I'm talking better than Dragon Balls,
Hunter x Hunter,
Hunter x Hunter. I mean, I'll even put it on top of all the sports animes tournaments. That's how much I thought it was. I know it wasn't as in-depth, but these tournament arcs, all the fights, first of all, they stepped up their animation game for the second season. The jump was insane. The soundtrack went up to a higher tier to go along with it. Every single moment was basically what was happening in the manga. There was no excess fat at all throughout this entire tournament arc. And because the story was written so perfectly, I could not see a worse way to have this go. Of course, Uraraka and Bakugo's fight was still my favorite fight of the entire thing. I know that Dirka really liked the Deku and Todoroki fight, but I felt with Uraraka and Bakugo, they put a lot of money into that animation style. And I thought that was really good. And every single fight had its proper amount of time. And every single fight had its deep moments. Except for Ida's first fight. But that was on purpose.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, though. That's the thing about My Hero Academia. People always wonder, why is it such a good shonen? Is it because it takes the Western and Eastern styles and combines it really well? Maybe. Is it because it's because each fight has some sort of emotional aspect to the characters involved, or the main characters involved. They made each one of those fights in the tournament arc be some sort of deep, profound thing. Like the Uraraka versus Bakugo fight. She knew she was going to lose, but she knew she couldn't just give up. She was fighting to prove that she's a hero too. She doesn't fight for the same reason as everybody else, and then she fights because she wants money to help her family. Mm-hmm. While Deku fights for helping people, and same thing with Ida, to be like his brother and help people. But she wanted to prove to herself and everybody that, hey, I'm here. I'm fighting Bakugo. Bakugo's one of the strongest people in this class. I'm going to put up a good fight. And she put up a great fight. We knew she was going to lose, but that fight, that emotion, jeez. God, honestly, season 2, compared to the manga, honestly, the manga's quality and drawing and everything got really good, I think, relatively recently on Esther. The drawing, the backgrounds, everything got super key with this recent arc in the manga, I believe.
No, yeah,
it's good, but this arc right now steps it up. Well, the anime keeps that power going the entire time throughout.
The tournament arc was beautiful.
It was beautiful. That scene where Todoroki and Deku are fighting. Deku's like, "You think you can beat me without using your full power? You're just being rude to everybody here. Everybody's here to be a hero, and they're fighting at their full strength. The fact that you're not fighting them with their own full strength means you're looking down on them." And Todoroki even says, you brought this upon yourself. And when he switches from fire to ice, and Deku's like just goes
From
full
ice to
strength.
fire, yeah.
Ice and fire, yeah. And Deku goes full strength, and they have to put up those walls just to stop the explosion a little bit. Didn't even prevent it. I was blown back, dude. The music playing during that too. Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Top tier.
It compared better than the manga. The manga did it good, but like the anime, ho.
Dude, that money is prime, and they used every cent of it so beautifully, and I appreciate that.
As that Shonen Jump new big 3 money. But but that all good comes a little bit of bad, so we're gonna start talking about the hero killer arc.
Do I have to talk about it?
Yes. You do.
Okay. So, for those of you who are not familiar, so this happened right after it was happening actually simultaneously with the tournament arc, because I think it was right after Ida lost. He got a call from his mother that his brother got into the hospital and he ended up losing his quirk because of Stain, the hero killer, who, for whatever reason, I can't remember why, but kept his brother alive just to be as a messenger. But this hero killer, I feel like it was very much, I know it's not the anime's fault, but I felt like it was very squandered. It was very underwhelming as to how good he was, because here he is taking on all these heroes, killing them left and right. He had done 19 cases by himself, but all of a sudden, I understand Todoroki is like at a different level of the average student, but he's still not comparative to most heroes. And the fact that Stain was being held back by Todoroki and was getting held back by Bakugo not even at full force, who just learned how to control 5%, it felt very underwhelming. I know Ida was being pushed into this whole emo phase and was finally broken through by Deku, but I feel like Stain could have been a lot cooler, could have been a lot more useful long term, because how they decide to end him with him just being chained up and then he got free and then he just stood there being frozen. I know, unpopular opinion, he froze him, but that was not a cool way to end it.
Yeah, that's true. I also think personally that Stain was meant to be a catalyst, as you guys, if you finish the series, you know that from the latest season, the latest episodes. He was supposed to be a catalyst, but I agree with Esther. They could have used him a lot better. He was this great villain. They even pumped him up and everything. He had a history. Even Deku was like, I understand him because we both started off with All Might. That's why we became who we are today. But one big thing for me was that I feel like he looked a little silly in the anime.
No, yeah, he did.
In the manga, he had like
a sinister.
More sinister, more like scary kind of thing going on for him. Like whenever I saw him in the light, like the daytime, in the anime, it was kind of like he looks goofy, So I don't think they really did him right, in my opinion. I know it's not probably a popular opinion, but I felt like the manga definitely did the Stain arc better in that sense.
And it still wasn't a good arc, but
yes.
It was very cookie cutter shonen, actually. But.
Yeah, it was a catalyst arc. They needed something to push the villains to come back out if they got bodied. So.
Yeah, but going off that, we got one last arc that just decided to finish. We got the final exams arc. Dirko?
Yeah. So the final exams arc. It's pretty much they're going to this training camp after the season, but you have to pass the final exam. So they put them all into groups of 2. There's a lot of different groups. It's like Suyu and what's his name, Black Shadow, the crow.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about, Raven guy.
Yeah, and then you have Ochako and the pretty guy. I think Mineta was with Yaozu. No, Mineta was with, I can't remember off the top of my head. Momo? I'm not sure. But Aizawa, then Shoto was with Momo. They were fighting Aizawa. They were all fighting heroes at a weakened state. And the thing is, the heroes all gave them an opportunity. They made one set way so that they could beat them. They nerf themselves, and they would leave a way for the students to win, because that's the whole point. It was to see if they could find that way to win and take it and seize it.
And by winning, they had to escape. They didn't have to actually beat the living daylights out of whoever the hero was, because they knew they couldn't.
Or put handcuffs on them. There were two ways. Putting handcuffs on these professional heroes, that's hard. That's hard. Especially with someone like Aizawa, who could just shut off your quirk as soon as he looks at you. You know, it's... And he's really good at hand-to-hand combat. You know, like, he's got those bandages and stuff. So... but each of these fights was actually, like, really cool, because we got to see a completely different dynamic. Because some of these characters you never saw really coordinating with each other before. Like, Yaozuya and Todoroki. One was a lot, you know, that's an interesting combination. You know, these are guys I don't think I've ever really seen working together before. And they which is good, because they're testing out different dynamics. They're making, like, their socials. What's up?
Weren't they together in the night part in the tournament arc?
I don't remember. I mean, like, working together as a team.
Yeah, they were on, because... Okay, whatever. It's not important, but I'm pretty sure they did. But
yeah, either way. So then you had Tsuyu, and then Shadow, Black Shadow, Tokoyami. Like, them working together. We gotta see different abilities from them too. Like, Tsuyu had that ectoplasm goo stuff. Or no, not ectoplasm. Like
acidic.
Gut. Yeah, acidic. She was able to hide the handcuffs in there, then spit it out. So they were able to put the handcuffs on. Forget who they were versing at that time. The pro heroes, I don't know their names really too well. So that was pretty cool. That was, like, you know, it was different ways to fight, and each one of these battles was a different way to fight. But you know, yeah, I said all those other guys, but the best squad was Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. For God's sake,
hands down.
That episode. It was the second last episode. Yeah.
24.
They're fighting each other. Oh my god. Like, the emotions you feel, because, like, Bakugo doesn't want to rely on Deku. And Deku's like, never. And then Deku punches him, like, almost well, not full force, but, like, powered up. Saves him from All Might's punch, by the way. So it's not like no reason. But punches him, saying, don't you ever tell me you would rather lose than work with me. Like, I was like, oh my god, yo, Deku just picked up the pace right there. And, you know, All Might is beating the crap out of Bakugo. Bakugo gets punched so hard he throws up. Like, Bakugo just kept trying to go full force at him until he realized that he has to work with Deku. And Deku's just like, and because Deku wakes him up. And they start working together, and they're actually able to put up a good fight against weakened All Might, because first of all, he's nerfed. Second of all, he's not even in his prime anymore because of other reasons we won't talk about. So Deku starts, but then, like, All Might's just like, nah, you can't be doing this. He starts punching them. He captures Bakugo, actually, and Deku has a chance to escape at that point. But Deku, being the guy who he is, you know, All Might even thinks about it. Deku goes straight up. He's like, All Might, please move. And he hits him with a full-powered punch to the face, knocking All Might away with his own quirk. Oh, man. And then he picks up Bakugo, and he drags him to the exit, and they both pass because
I thought it was firefighter style. I don't know.
Whatever it was. He picks him up, and he brings him out to the exit, and they both pass. And then you have a nice monologue by All Might saying, that's how you could have won by yourself. You know, you could have just gotten out there with no problems, without any risk. But that's not who you are. You know, ever since the beginning, even when I first met you and you were quirkless, you can't help but go rescue people. You know, you're a hero. And that just made me be like, oh man, dude, Dad
with the
noticed
music
him.
To go along with it.
Yes, Dad noticed him, dude. It was just done so well. It's like, you get so much insight on every character involved. It's just, I love it. And then this arc does end off with the last episode, which isn't really the final exam anymore. It kind of is them all going shopping before they get ready for the trip. And he actually meets, I think his name is Shiragaki, the main guy from the villain squad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just seeing him there, like, the way he's animated, the way he's talking, like, everything is frame by frame from the manga. Once again, they did a great job at the adaptation, frame by frame. So I was perfectly happy with that. You know, he comes up behind Deku and says, hey, you know, you were in the hero competition, right? Huh? if you say it, and he's like, if you say anything, I can kill 30 people before a hero shows up. And I'm just like, yo, they're doing him so right. Like, the way he talks, the way he acts, everything is just so perfect. We meet the 2 new villains. A lot of people love them. I forget the guy's name is Daiba or something like that, and the girl's name who could transform or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler.
Sorry, guys.
The girl.
Crazy.
Yeah, the crazy girl. So, honestly, overall, like, I didn't like how they ended it personally. Like, at that point, I mean, it's nice, but I thought they'd at least start going to this training camp. Maybe, like, you know, just everything would set up for the training camp to automatically start. It kind of ended off at a weird point with that. You know,
I mean, they needed one more episode, and they didn't want to go with a filler episode, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate
yes,
that.
We know. That's fine. But overall, you know, this anime did a great job. Like, at points, I thought it was more enjoyable than the manga. The openings and endings don't even get me started. They were amazing. They were all great.
Just give them a round of applause.
Honestly, yeah, just take a second and just give them a round of applause. Like, good job. There's a reason why you're one of the top anime for these last 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, do you have anything else you want to say about it, Nestor?
Season 3 confirmed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Probably next spring or summer, probably.
I mean, they still have a lot of content to go with, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, no, by the time they release it, we'll probably be like 2 more arcs down in the manga, or 3 more arcs down.
Ooh, at least one. We'll be done with the current arc, at least.
Yes, hopefully. But I don't think we have anything else to say here. If you guys did enjoy this and this type of video, remember to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Make sure you tell us what you thought of My Hero Academia, or Boku No Hero Academia, whatever you want to call it. Boku No Hero, I don't know. I call it My Hero, but whatever. And you know, if you want to, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch. All those links are in the description below, along with our different playlists for live reactions, etc. And honestly, this has been Durka.
This has been a Nestor.
And
sayonara.